Similarly, then the DPS, then you convert into dividend per share. It looks very high because the dividends, the earnings itself has grown to 90 to 100. Don't worry about getting too high on the dividends, because the earnings itself is higher. So the earnings and the dividends are declared are same percentage. Then because of the payout ratio is marginally increased, further increased, and finally it went up to 65. When it goes up to 65% of the payout, 130 into 65 will work out to 85 rupees. And then the cost of capital also is declining. When the cost of capital is declining, you multiply by 1.9 into 13.25, 12.82, like that. So totally, the next 5 years you get the dividends. You add up first 5 years, next 5 years. Yeah. Payout ratio is defined here, 16.53 initially, and expected growth rate G. How do you do that? Retention ratio into ROE. ROE is given 23.22. See here, 23.22, and return on equity, and the payout ratio is 1 minus 16.53, right? G is 1 minus payout ratio, 19.38. So if you go back, 19.38 for the first 5 years. Yeah. Now the beta calculation, okay, the risk-free rate is also given. Risk premium, what is taken is that the matured market premium. So generally, what is market premium for the US? 4%, and the country risk premium is 3%. Yeah. Any questions on that? So the cost of equity is, the beta is already given actually, yeah, 1.1. Initially is 1.1, and then finally it goes into 1%. And the cost of risk-free rate is 6, 1 into 7%. How did he calculated the risk premium? We have done 2-3 working on that, right? The problem of listening is that sometimes you don't listen fully, isn't it? See, you can calculate, how do you calculate the matured market premium? So he is looking for investing in Canara Bank as a US citizen, for a US institution, something like that, who wanted to buy a Canara Bank in his portfolio. How did the matured market premium is calculated? Anybody? So I have given you the liberty of not working along with me. In that case, you have to, mind has to work along with me, right? If physically it is not working, mentally it should work, right? So he is looking at investing in India as a risk of an emerging market, isn't it? So I am a player globally. So what is matured market premium is 4%, and the country risk premium is 3%. These two, country risk premium is the default spread for Indian bonds was 1.5%, volatility of equities twice of the bond, hence 1.5 into 2. All three numbers I want, how do you view this? One is the matured market premium, and the default risk premium for Indian bonds, and equity was twice that of the bond. These are three components, yeah. Okay, okay. How is that? Own country only, S&P 500, isn't it? I give you that number also. I give you what is the matured market benchmark, isn't it? It has to be the benchmark defined. So I take S&P 500, all right, or Dow Jones, or S&P 500. So we have already done this. If you know that, what you do is that how S&P 500 has fared in the last 10 years or 20 years. Historically, what is the return of S&P 500? Okay, you calculate that. If the S&P 500 return is between 10 to 12%, actually it is, then what do? You reduce by risk-free rate. If the risk-free rate is 6%, the 6, okay, and the bond premium of 5 years or whatever your investment horizon is 2%, then you come to 4%. So you derive the risk premium of matured market. There are many ways of doing it, or you can take the S&P 500 today is 1350 and the dividend is equivalent to dividend. What is the dividend and the G? D0 into 1 plus G, okay, divided by K minus G. G is historic and D1 is also, you calculate with the DO, historic average of last 10 years, calculate the G, and now you work for K, required rate of return. This is a forward looking and this is historic. Market risk, S&P 500, you calculate 12%, last 10 years how much, what is the return, so the volatility is also taken care of. Simple average you can do that. Which one? No, equity premium. So the bond premium and then the equity premium. You can risk-free rate and the premium straight away. You can take a market premium as 6 plus 2, 8. So finally, what happens? See, no, risk-free rate. If you take it risk-free rate as a 3 months T-bill, to move from 3 months T-bill to 5 years or 10 years bond, so that becomes your risk-free, right? Depending on your horizon. Which one? Bond premium, if it's a 5-year zero is available, you can take that 5-year zero, whichever is closer actually. I am giving an example where zeros are not. No, that bond premium becomes your risk-free depending upon your horizon. I'm sorry, I didn't convey it properly. No, I'm moving based on the instrument. Let's not say that risk-free rate is 8%, between 6 to 8%, depending upon your time horizon. If it's 1 year T-bill, if it is 5-year bond, okay. If the zero is available, T-bills are always discounted, so it is zero technically. 5-year zero is available, that is your, then the premium of the, then I think you are trying to fit the formula risk-free into beta into RM minus RF, right? This is where your confusion, right? So so the RM risk-free could be anything. If it is 1 year horizon T bond, if it is a 5-year horizon, 5-year zero. You can. Yeah. So what he has done is that he has arrived 4% of the matured market premium, country risk premium of 3%. How did he do that? I am a US investor. No, your country is BBB, right? Marginally investment grade, isn't it? Barely. Without the finance minister, probably it will get into speculative. If they downgrade one notch, then the whole issue will become very serious actually. That is why a lot of reforms is coming. They are working towards that, isn't it? The guys who have worked in World Bank and IMF, they understand Montexing or something like that. So they know the value of rating, right? Otherwise, I have no comments. So the guys who are in business who know what it is actually, right? So that is why your emerging market BBB. So how we defined the equity premium, the bond, what should I say? The credit default swap. This is always one area actually I have been thinking. My classes actually, the classes are not inclusive of CDS. Forget it. So if I include that, then it becomes a 10-hour class actually. Forget that. So credit default swap prevailing prevailing on the bond market for the Indian instrument, okay, is at 1.5%. And traditionally, equity to bond, the volatility is twice. Historically, you can compute that. So he has computed equity volatility is twice the size of the bond. The bond volatility is defined in terms of bond premium is defined in terms of credit default swap. Okay, CDS 1.5 into 2. That's how he is defined the risk premium. country risk premium. Okay. That indicates the riskiness of the right. When if there is a downgrade of Indian country from triple B